Hey, good morning. It's Patricia Murphy. It's Friday. This is Seattle Now. This week, the cloud broke down. Omicron showed up, and a lot of us are scrambling to protect our mail. We'll break it all down with Jane Hu and Kristin Leong in just a minute. But first, some news. A big flip in City Council member Kshama Sawant's recall. As of yesterday evening, she is beating the recall attempt with 50.3% of the tallied ballots. That's just 232 votes. But 600 votes are facing signature challenges, and there are still ballots trickling in, so too early to call. If the results hold, she'll serve out the rest of her term through 2023. Another big vote yesterday, Starbucks workers in Buffalo, New York voted to become the first store in the company to unionize. 3 stores held votes this month. 1 voted to join Workers United. 1 decided against it, and we're not sure yet which way the third will go. It's not a huge number of workers, but it's a big symbolic change for Starbucks, and it might lead to more locations unionizing. 3 other Starbucks stores in the city will be holding votes soon. And get ready for another stormy weekend. The National Weather Service says we're in for more heavy rain and wind starting tonight, and the mountains could get 2.5 feet of snow. Powder day. Snoqualmie Pass closed twice already this week, though, for bad conditions and spun out vehicles. So be careful and remember to chain up and take it slowly if you're going through the passes. It's Friday again, and we're wrapping up another week. The Kshama Sawant recall is coming down to a few hundred votes, which, if you remember, is the council member's sweet spot. The sun came out for a bit, and just in time for the holidays, the Amazon Web Services outage reminded us just how much of the internet relies on our hometown servers. Jane Hu is here. She's a Seattle-based science journalist. Jane, great to have you back.
Great to be back. Thanks for having me.
Kristin Leong is here, too. She's KUOW's community engagement producer and runs the Rock Paper Radio newsletter, which is great. Kristin, always good to talk to you.
I'm so happy to be back. Thanks a lot, Trish.
Were either of you personally impacted by the Amazon Web Services outage?
I was. I used Trint, which is a transcription service, and it was out all day. I needed to look at an interview I did a couple weeks ago that I no longer remembered anything from. The transcript would have been helpful, but I found a workaround and it was fine.
Trint is a great service, by the way. Trint is top notch. Kristin, what about you?
You know what? I haven't been personally impacted by it. I've been on leave, but I just want to say, I think to all of you who have been working and were impacted by it, maybe this was just like a sign. Maybe like Amazon was just telling us, like, everybody's like posting too many hot takes about Succession. Everyone's buying too much stuff that we don't need. You know, it's just like Alexa was sick of hearing about all of it, and they're like, we're done. We're out just for a little while.
Totally. For a couple hours, I was like, okay, well, this just is clearly a sign from the world that I need to not be working on this thing. So I'll work on something different. Or go on a nice walk, actually, is what I did for a little bit of the time that Trent was down.
Yeah. I guess it was pretty bad, though. Huge chunks of the cloud were knocked out. All kinds of apps connected to AWS were glitchy. And, of course, one of the most important apps to get knocked out was the one that tells drivers what packages to pick up and where to take them. Because, of course, it is the most packagey time of the year.
I just feel a little worried for all of the Amazon workers who I know are under really strict quotas a lot of the time to get stuff delivered. I hope there was some exception made while they were, not being told where to go or not getting any help from their app, at least.
Yeah. Actually, I mean, and, the supply chain is already backed up. People are under a lot of pressure to get these packages moving. And you're right. Those guys sit around. Who knows what that means for their employment or their monthly stats that they're supposed to be, or quotas that they're supposed to be turning in. True. On the other side of this is once that package gets here, the porch pirates, you got about 25 minutes to get out there and grab it before it could potentially be gone. How do you guys handle this?
This is a time I'm very grateful to be working from home. Actually, last year, during the holiday season, I watched a porch pirate steal a package off of actually 2 of my neighbors' doorsteps. And at first I thought, maybe it was the neighbor themselves. I didn't know every neighbor on my street. And I saw them, go up to the door, take a package and go back to their car. And I thought, maybe they're like home on lunch break and they just, or like the package was something they needed to take elsewhere. But once I saw them go to multiple houses, I went out onto my porch and tried to get a picture of the car and started walking towards the car. But of course, they sped off. I left my neighbors little notes, and it was actually a nice way to get to know my neighbors. But I think they were glad to at least know that that's what happened, because, I think otherwise you might not have even known if the package was really delivered or what actually ended up happening to it.
Yeah, I feel like I love it that this is like an opportunity for you to meet your neighbors, Jane. Like, we have awesome neighbors. We my wife and I live in like this little gay trifecta. We have a couple of ladies who live behind us and a couple of guys who live next to us. And whenever somebody travels, we just pick up each other's packages right away. And I just feel like maybe this is the thing, like all the package theft that will push the Seattle freeze to thaw just a little bit. Is it possible? Who knows?
Could this be the one moment where capitalism is a good thing? I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Like you, Jane, I'm home, right? But I still feel the anxiety of tracking and waiting. And boy, as soon as that thing hits my notifications, I'm like, boom, out the door. Gotta get it. Like right now, I'm feeling like, wait a minute, we're talking about this. Was I supposed to get those N95 masks yesterday? I think they were supposed to come in yesterday. So it just causes so much anxiety.
But again, this is like my big campaign right now. I'm like, guys, it's a sign. We are all buying too much crap,
This is what Buy Nothing is for. I'm having some friends over tomorrow to bake some Christmas cookies. And ooh. I was thinking about, trying to find cookie cutters so we could decorate cookies. And then I thought to just ask on my neighborhood Buy Nothing group. And someone was like, yeah, I've had these for years. Just take them. So I don't know. I've seen people floating ideas of here's some stuff you could just swap to give as a gift instead of trying to buy something new. And that way you're picking it up from a neighbor's porch and it's like a sanctioned picking up from their porch rather than a illicit one.
You guys, this is a revolution I am here for. Swapping our stuff with neighbors, knowing our neighbors. I'm here for it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we're all getting ready to travel again. And of course, Omicron has arrived just in time to screw it all up, which is a huge drag. And we got a little bit more information this week. And the big takeaway is that it looks like Omicron spreads faster and is more contagious than Delta. But ultimately, what I'm hearing is that it seems less severe than other strains. So more people getting sick, but less sick. I'm switching everybody back to an N95 as soon as it gets here.
Absolutely. When I first read about that, I was like, okay, it's more contagious, but the severity looks like it's about the same. And for a second, I felt relieved. And then I was like, wait, the severity is the same. This is still a serious problem, right? You don't want to get coronavirus, any of the variants. There's no relief here with this new variant at all.
No. Jane, are you changing stuff? How are you thinking about this?
I actually just got boosted over the weekend. So Omicron was kind of a good reminder for me that I should go get that. I know a lot of us, or at least me, I had reached a point where I felt like we had it under control and where we had reached some kind of equilibrium and what we were willing to do out in the world or not. And this feels like, just throwing a wrench into things, especially right before folks are going to be traveling for the holidays.
We had that brief moment, didn't we, in the summertime where people are vaccinated and rates are going down. We had this moment of
hot vax moment.
Yes. And then it passed. And so we just, we just need to hold on to those memories from the summertime and just sit with them for a while and get through it until we can have another moment like that.
Are you guys going out and doing things? Is this preventing you, or you're changing what you're doing?
Trish, let's be real. I wasn't going out before the coronavirus. So that's going to be a no for me.
Yeah.
I'll say the same. And, I really, really, really miss karaoke. Aww. And every time my husband and I drive by Water Wheel in Ballard, we're like, remember karaoke? Someday we might be able to get to do that again.
Wait, Jane, what's your karaoke song?
Call Me Maybe by Carly Rae Jepsen.
Oh, good Love one. It. Good one. Now that's going to be in my head.
That's
one
a crowd
of those
pleaser.
Earworms, Jane.
Yeah, I feel like the perfect karaoke song is one that everyone knows, and so the crowd can help you sing it, and that is like upbeat, and everyone's like, it's a terrible song, but we all love it, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, do you know what my wife Carrie's karaoke song is? She's an amazing singer, by the way, but you have to picture her first. She's like this very dapper tomboy. She like rocks a suit like nobody's business. Her karaoke go-to is absolutely songs from The Little Mermaid. And she kills it. She kills it. She's so good.
We got to go out karaokeing sometime then, because I want to see that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is
She's
fantastic.
amazing.
All right, we got a question from a listener about holiday activities, actually. Laura Pasquini asked us about holiday stuff happening around the city. I figure we could probably help her out. The go-to in my house is definitely wild lights at the Woodland Park Zoo because it's dark and I prefer a little bit of anonymity, not because I'm anything other than insecure. What is your go-to?
For me, it's definitely the Georgetown Art Attack, which is this weekend. It's tomorrow, Saturday, December 11th. This is awesome. It's super fun. You can support local artists, get really cool, unique gifts for your friends, and there's lots of food and beer and cool people. It's a really good vibe. Georgetown Art Attack this weekend.
Oh, fun. Jane, what about you?
I know the Renegade Craft Fair is happening this weekend at Magnuson, and I always love stopping by that. I never get there early enough. I feel like, you know, all the good stuff is somehow gone by the time that I'm there, but it's always fun to poke around as long as I can resist the urge to buy things just for myself instead of trying to go shopping for the people in my life. And then the other thing I really love and that I try to go to every year is just a little walk around Candy Cane Lane in Ravenna. Just like a nice way to see neighbors. And I just appreciate how much effort all of the folks on that street put into not only dressing up their houses, but dressing up themselves. And every year, I don't have children, but I do have a dog. And every year when we go with our dog, people will like come out accosting us, trying to give our dog treats. And it's just very sweet and a really nice way to feel festive.
Do the dogs dress up as well?
I have not seen any dressed up dogs, but this is tempting.
You know what I'm talking about? Like the little antlers?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm going to get that for my dog.
Nice.
You can do outdoor ice skating in Bellevue, the downtown ice rink. I think that's always a fun thing.
Oh my gosh, I had a terrible ice skating accident many years ago. My son was really little. I thought this would be like such a fun thing to do with my kid, you know, at Seattle Center.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely like just bailed in front of all these like cool teenagers, broke my wrist. My son, who was a little kid at the time, had to like tie my shoes on for me because my wrist was broken. My mom, I am a grown adult at this time, had to come and pick me up because I had to go to ER. Y'all, I haven't been ice skating since, and that was like years ago.
That sounds traumatic.
Absolutely. But, you know, before I had my big fall ice skating at the Seattle Center, that was one of my favorite, you know, holiday things. Now I'm just going to stick with Georgetown Art Walk. That's safe enough for me.
A little safer.
Yeah, if you want the gliding action, you can like wear Heelys or something. But yeah, you don't.
You guys, I think we're going to leave it there. I hope you have a fantastic weekend and a great time at your art fairs. Thanks to our guests, Jane Hu and Kristin Leong. Great to have you on.
Thanks for having us.
A happy weekend to all of you. It's great to be here.
Appreciate you listening. Clare McGrane produced today's show, which is also made by Caroline Chamberlain Gomez, Jenny Cecil Moore, Diana Opong, and Jason Pagano. Matt Jorgensen does our theme music. I'm Patricia Murphy.